Leanne, you know that it's Mom and Dad's wedding anniversary next week, don't you? Mom says that she wants to go on a family vacation. It's been a long time since we've done anything like that, hasn't it?
Oh, really? Where does she want to go on vacation? It's next week, so I guess we wouldn't be able to go abroad or anything, would we?
Nothing like that. I guess we'll just get a lodge or something in the suburbs for a few days. Then we could go swimming and spend some time together. What do you think?
That sounds like a great idea. Let's do that. Lots of people have vacations closer to home these days, don't they? Didn't Gail say that she'd never stayed in a hotel before?
Yeah, she did. Maybe we could put Mom and Dad up in a hotel instead. We could show them around as well. I think they'd really enjoy it, you know? You are good at searching for things like that, so could you have a look for a suitable hotel in the suburbs somewhere and some places nearby that we could show Mom and Dad, please? I'll work out roughly how much we can spend on it.
Okay, it's a bit short notice, but I will see what I can find.
Well, this is very unexpected, isn't it? How did we suddenly end up in a car accident on the way to our hotel? I know, right? Luckily, thanks to Dad, no one was seriously injured. If it wasn't for Dad's quick thinking, it could have been so much worse. Dad is very protective over his family especially, that's all. Anyway, who is the jerk that drives while under the influence in the middle of the day? There really are some crazy people around, you know. People like that deserve to be locked up for a long time. The police are looking into it, aren't they?
Oh, be quiet, would you? You're all making such a noise. You're talking like I died or something. It's only a broken leg. It's not the end of the world. What about the hotel fee?
The hotel fee is the least of our problems. We've just been involved in a major car accident, Terry. We were really unlucky, though. It had to happen on our wedding anniversary, didn't it? I'm really disappointed about our vacation, you know.
Gail, the insurance company will sort everything out. And the doctor said that Terry's leg will be the same as it was before when it gets better. So you don't have to worry so much about everything.
How can you be so calm at a time like this? Do you think that it's appropriate for a daughter-in-law to say things like that in a situation like this? You were the one in the passenger seat. You should have been looking around and making sure it was safe for the driver. What exactly were you doing there? If you were paying a bit more attention, your father-in-law wouldn't be in this state now and we'd be in our hotel.
Excuse me?
This accident only happened because you weren't paying attention, didn't it? Don't you realize the purpose of the passenger seat? It's there so that the passenger can see as well as the driver and can help to check that things are safe. If you weren't going to pay attention, you should have sat in the back, shouldn't you? Mom, it's already happened now. What have you got to gain by blaming Leanne like that? I'm sure she's already feeling really sorry about what happened, even if she hasn't said it out loud.
Hang on a second. Are you saying that this accident was my fault or something?
Well, it was, wasn't it? I've told you, the person in the passenger seat should be paying attention so that they can warn the driver of any dangers. How many times do I have to tell you that? You have to be an extra pair of eyes for the driver. That's your job.
Gail, the person who caused this accident is the drink driver that has now been arrested by the police. It's totally obvious you caused the accident. How could it possibly have been my fault?
Of course it's your fault. If you had noticed that that car was being driven strangely and told Dad, none of this would have happened, would it?
How on earth was I supposed to know what he was going to do, Gail?
Leanne, that's enough now. If your mother-in-law says something like that to you, you just have to accept it. Who do you think you're talking to anyway? Can't you even understand the situation right now?
How am I supposed to do that? Your mom is blaming me for something that isn't even my fault. Why do I have to just accept that?
Look at how she's talking to me. She's always been rude, but this is something else. That's why bad luck seems to just follow her around like it does. If she hadn't come on this vacation with us, none of this would have happened.
Gail, how can you say something like that? I haven't even done anything wrong and you're acting like I drove that car into us myself.
How dare the three of you go on like this in front of all these sick people? I'm so embarrassed by the lot of you. What will everyone else think of our family if they see you acting like this? I have a broken leg, and all the three of you seem to care about is who's to blame for this whole thing. I bet we're the only family like that. Why does it matter?
Well, Leanne should have just admitted that it was her fault then, shouldn't she? This only happened because she keeps denying it when it's obvious that she is the one to blame.
Hey, just shut up, will you? Gail, my hair just feels so itchy today. Can you shampoo it for me?
It's not like you're going anywhere or anything. Why do I have to wash your hair for you? There's no one here to see you except your family and the doctors anyway. What's the point? You're with the same patients every day, and there's no one around that you have to make an effort for or look good in front of. So why do you have to wash your hair?
Even so, how can someone not wash their hair for 3 days? My head just feels so itchy and gross now. I can't stand it a minute longer.
All of this is so irritating, you know. I just can't be bothered. What? You can't even be bothered to wash your sick husband's hair for him? You always try to get me to do something for you, and I'm already really busy, you know. You've always been like it for as long as I can remember. You seem to be getting even worse these days. Is it just because you have nothing else to do or something? Why are you always asking me to do things for you? Are you just bored or something? Most normal people just leave people alone and get some rest themselves when they're trying to get some rest. But not you. You do the exact opposite, don't you?
I can't believe what I'm hearing. I'm only asking you because my hair's really itchy now, and we're family. Is washing my hair for me that difficult?
Oh, I don't know. I have to go out for a while now anyway. Our neighbor said that she has some vegetables to share with us. I've got to go and pick them up.
How long do you think it's going to take you to wash my hair for me? 30 minutes? 1 hour? It won't even take 10 minutes, will it? You could have already finished it in the time you've been arguing with me about it if you'd just got on with it. I don't see why you're making such a fuss about it.
I have to go now, or I'll be late. She's giving us the stuff for nothing. It wouldn't look good if I was late now, would it? If you really can't put up with your head itching, why don't you ask Nick or someone to do it for you?
I can't do it either. Sorry, Dad. I worked late last night, so I have to go home early today. Oh, I have a head massager at work that one of my colleagues gave me. Shall I bring it in next time I come to visit you? If you use that, I think you could put up with not washing your hair for a while longer, you know.
No, it's fine. I'm getting really mad now, so I think it'd be best if you all just win.
Why are you getting so annoyed over nothing? You're like a little kid or something. It's not like we don't all have jobs and things of our own to do now, is it? You have to try and understand.
Terry, if it's okay with you, I'll wash your hair for you.
Oh yes, what a good idea. You can do it for him.
I told you I've had enough. I don't need people like you who just see me as a burden and make a fuss about doing the simplest things for me. Stop messing around and leave like I asked.
Terry, Leanne said she'd wash her hair for you, didn't she? It is her fault that we're in this mess after all, isn't it? You should just let her do it to help her ease her guilty conscience. Gail, are you going on about that again? What do you mean going on about that again? Are you still not going to accept responsibility for what you've done? This whole mess is of your doing, so it's only right that you are the one who takes care of Dad in the hospital. Don't you agree?
She's right, you know. Even if it isn't all completely your fault, you aren't totally blameless in all of this either, you know. Like Mom said, if you weren't going to pay attention, you shouldn't have sat in the passenger seat to begin with, should you?
I'm not going to go on about this anymore in front of Terry. But they were the ones who said I should sit in the passenger seat in the first place. I don't know why they keep talking like this now.
Anyway, Leanne, you're the one most to blame here, so you can look after Dad from now on. Mom and I will help too, of course, but I think it's only fair that you do most of it from now on.
Oh, Terry, while I think about it, did you get me an anniversary present? If you did, tell me where it is and I'll pick it up myself.
What? How can you possibly ask me about anniversary presents at a time like this? Are you for real?
If you haven't got me anything, you could have just said. There's no point in getting angry about it now, is there?
I don't know what your problem is. I really don't. Nick, let's get going. I don't have much time left, so we'd better get a move on. You better make sure that you drive carefully again. We don't want you getting into an accident like your dad did now, do we?
I can't believe you. I really can't.
Oh, and Dad, Mom was really looking forward to going on vacation for your wedding anniversary, and she's really disappointed that we can't go now. Girls are like that, you know? Try to understand, okay?
Even so, I don't understand how someone could be so selfish as your mom. Does she think I broke my leg on purpose or something? In that emergency situation, I turned the wheel so that I'd be hurt instead of any of you guys, didn't I? Even if she doesn't say thank you to me. She shouldn't behave like that now, should she?
You know how Mom is, don't you? Just try to ignore what she said and move on. It's not the first time that she's acted like this now, is it? I'd better be off now anyway. Leanne, let me know before you come home.
Oh, why? Are you going to come and pick me up or something?
What? No, of course I'm not. Don't you think you're being a little too much? You aren't a child or anything. Why would I possibly come and pick you up?
Well, you asked me to call you before I left, so I just assumed that that was why. That's all.
No, that's not what I meant at all. If you let me know before you leave the hospital, I'll let you know what I want for dinner so you can get it on the way home. That's all.
Of course that's not what you meant. I don't know why I expected any different from you. I really don't. You'd better go now. Both the mother and son are ridiculous. They just go home so that they can laze around doing nothing and leave me here to sort everything out. They really are something, the pair of them. They say such ridiculous things as well. I actually felt really sorry for Terry back then.
I don't know why I bother. I really don't. They call themselves family. All they care about is themselves. Useless they are. Useless. Leanne, you'd better be getting off now as well.
It's okay, Terry. I'll go after I've washed your hair for you.
No, it's fine. I'll have a go myself. And if I can't do it for whatever reason, I'll get a nurse to help me or something.
You have family here to do it for you. Why would you ask a nurse to do it? I'll do it, Terry. If you let me know which parts are itchy, I'll do my best to try and make you feel better.
Thank you, Leanne. I feel pretty bad asking, but could you just help me out with this, please?
You don't have to feel bad about asking me. We're family. It's only right that we help each other out now, isn't it?
You're right, you know. That's what I thought as well. But look at how your mom and Nick acted when I asked them to help me out. I've just lost all respect for them now, you know. How can you depend on your family when that's the way they act? Later, when I get older and die, they'll just throw me away. I just know it.
No, they wouldn't do that. They just wouldn't. Don't think too badly of them, Terry. I'll wash your hair for you now. You'll feel much better after that. You should be thinking about getting better and coming home.
I told you that there was no need for you to come and see me if you're busy. Why do you keep coming here every day after work? I've grown really accustomed to staying here in the hospital now. You don't have to worry about me.
You're stuck here on your own in the hospital. I can't just not visit you. Nick's busy, and Gail seems to be busy with all of her groups these days, too.
I'm not going to call them my family any longer. Those useless good-for-nothing. Even my wife, who should be at least visiting me every day, hasn't shown her face for the last 3 days now, you know? The only person who seems to be coming to visit me is you. I seem to have a lot to feel sorry to you about these days. If I'd only just looked around a bit more carefully, none of this would have happened. I feel really bad that you're being blamed for that as well.
I told you, you don't have to worry about all of that. All you have to focus on is getting better and coming home.
I know, but I can't help but worry about those kind of things. What else do I have to think about being stuck in here all of the time? You don't have a drop of my blood running through your veins, but you're the one coming here to see me every day and taking care of me when my own family can't even be bothered to show their faces.
I'm just doing what I can and what I feel is the right thing to do. That's all. It's nothing, really.
I really have looked out in the daughter-in-law department, even if the rest of my family are a huge disappointment. I feel so pleased and fortunate to have you in my life, you know. You coming here to see me helps me to save face a bit in here, too. Even so, I don't want to make things any worse for you than they already are, so you don't have to come here anymore.
It's fine, Terry, really. I enjoy coming. We never have the chance to talk like this, just the two of us, do we? I know that being involved in this kind of accident was really bad, but if it had never have happened, I would never have had the chance to spend time with you and talk with you like this, would I?
You really do say the nicest things, you know. I feel really embarrassed that things have to be like that, but I'm really grateful to you, Leanne, you know. Thank you so much for all that you have done for me since I've been in here.
You've been so busy at work up until now that you've never even had the chance to get a proper rest. Maybe it would be good if you thought of this time as a little holiday to get some rest and recharge your batteries a bit, so to speak. I'm sure Gail and Nick have a good reason for not coming to visit you. They're really busy too, you know. Don't feel bad or worry too much about what they're doing. You have to be positive to get better quickly, haven't you?
A good reason, you say. I've known the two of them for many, many years. I know exactly what they're doing. I don't even know why I'm surprised by them anymore, if I'm honest. But even though I know what they're like, I can't help but feel dejected when they treat me like this, you know? Leanne, if I had one word of advice for you, I'd tell you not to live just for your family. Just because you take care of your family and do your best for them, it doesn't mean that they'll necessarily do the same for you.
Okay, Terry, I understand. You must feel so bad to think like that, though. But I actually think the opposite of what you just said, you know?
The opposite, you say?
From taking care of and doing the best for my family, I was able to find out that you are similar to me. On the contrary, I was also able to find that there are others that aren't. I think things like this are a good opportunity to change the way you think and feel about people.
How can you be so wise at such a young age? I think what you just said is right. I've managed to find out what a precious part of our family you are as well. And that my good-for-nothing wife and son are nothing but thorns in my crown. Anyway, I'll never forget what you've done for me since I've been stuck in here, you know. I'll make sure to repay you one day. I promise.
You have nothing to repay me for, Terry. That's not why I've been visiting and helping you out either.
I know that, Leanne. Of course I do. I just want to do what I can to help you out and repay you for your kindness. That's all. I feel like spending time like this, just the two of us, has brought us closer together. I'm really happy about that. I'm quite shy, really, you know.
I'm the same, Terry. I thought that you wouldn't be interested in what I had to say, which is why I never really spoke to you or took much of an interest. If I'd have known before that you were the most similar to myself, I'd have made much more of an effort with you from the start, you know?
If you think about it, the accident wasn't a bad thing, seeing that it brought the two of us closer together like it has. Don't you agree?
Yes, I think you're right, Terry.
Terry, look how much weight you've put on, being stuck in the hospital for all of that time. It seems like you're well suited to hospital life, you know. Was the hospital food really that good?
I am. Leon took such great care of me while I was stuck in the hospital, you know, that I had nothing to worry or feel stressed about. I actually feel a lot more stressed now that I'm home, to tell you the truth.
Listen to him. You know whose fault it was that we were in that accident to start with. How can you possibly talk like that? You do talk nonsense sometimes, you know. Dad, you aren't annoyed at Mom and I or anything, are you? You act like such a child sometimes, you know. We stepped back from your care because we had no part to play in the accident. That's all. It really wasn't that we don't care or anything like that, honestly.
Nobody said you didn't, did they?
What is it, Dad?
When I was young, I invested in a building, you see. The land price has risen quite a bit recently, so this building has quite a lot of value. I told you that I'd pay you back for all the kindness you showed and everything you did for me when I was in the hospital, didn't I?
Pardon? What did you just say?
If you weren't married to my son, you'd have had nothing to do with me at all. But you came to see me every day after work for 3 whole months, even though you must have had things to do and be really tired. It just goes to show that the saying blood is thicker than water isn't always true. That's what I've learned looking at you.
I only carried out my role as your daughter-in-law, that's all. How can I accept something as big as this? I'd be satisfied with just a meal out, you know?
Daughters-in-law don't usually do things as well as you did. Do you think that I've lived this many years without learning to read people?
Hang on a second. What on earth is going on here? I didn't know you owned a building. What did you just say that you were going to give to Leanne? I really don't understand what's happening. That's all.
Are you hard of hearing or something? I mean exactly what I just said. And I'm giving Leanne exactly what I said I was going to give her. What's the problem?
Are you saying that you really own a building then? Why have you never said anything about it to me all these years?
If I told you, you'd have lost a lot, wouldn't you? No one in their right mind would tell you something like that. Don't you remember what happened in the short time that I let you take control of our finances? You siphoned off all of my wages and we nearly ended up getting a divorce over it, didn't we?
Why are you suddenly bringing all of that up again now? What on earth does that have to do with you owning a building? How much is this building worth, anyway?
About $3 million.
What did you just say? $3 million? You must be having a laugh. Why are you giving that to someone who isn't even related to you by blood? Have you lost your mind?
No, I haven't lost my mind. I'm perfectly sound of mind, actually. That's the very reason that I'm giving it to Leanne, to tell you the truth. Don't you even think about trying to take it away from her. If I hadn't decided to give it to her, I'd have kept quiet about it and just left it to charity or something. So it's of no loss to you, and she's not taking anything away from you either.
What on earth are you going on about now? How can you decide something as important as this alone? This is so important. It's our family's assets. Mom's right, you know. I don't think what you're doing is right. It wouldn't matter if it was just something small. But how could you just give a building worth $3 million without even discussing it with us first? How can someone be so stupid as to hand over a building worth $3 million just because someone visited them in the hospital a few times? Do Mom and I mean nothing to you at all?
What do you mean? You've both been totally useless. You haven't even thought about helping or even coming to visit me the whole time I've been in the hospital. That $3 million is mine. I can do what I want with it. Why do you think you should have a say in who I leave my money to anyway? It's none of your business.
Even so, the three of us have lived under the same roof for my whole life. Doesn't that mean anything to you at all? Leanne hasn't even been part of this family for 2 years. You've never given Mom or me something as big as that in all the time we've lived together.
What I mean is that Leanne has done more for me in that year than you and your mom have done for me in your whole lives.
Dad, how could you say something like that?
I learned a lot about life in the 3 months that I was stuck in a hospital bed, you know.
What? What are you talking about?
When I was unconscious and bleeding on the floor, Leanne was holding on to me crying, praying for me to be okay. What were you and your mom doing? The first thing you did was to see how much money you'd get from the insurance. How much you'd get if I was disabled. How much you'd get if I died.
How do you know that? You were unconscious at the time.
The doctors and the other patients asked me if she was my daughter, you know.
You know it's all a pretense with her, don't you? She probably played it up even more with all of those people watching her as well.
They also asked me if you and that jerk were my second wife and stepson, you know. They said they felt really sorry for me, looking at the way the two of you acted.
People like gossiping about others, though, don't they, Mom? Even more so when they're stuck in a hospital bed like that. We never did anything of the sort. I cried so much when you were out of it like you were. I nearly passed out as well.
Yeah, when you realized that I was going to be okay and you wouldn't get any money out of me, maybe. I bet you cried when you realized that you wouldn't be getting any money from my life insurance.
You think what you want. We would have got a lot of money from your life insurance, though, you know. I was a bit disappointed about that. Anyone would be. Mom, don't be like that. Dad won't live much longer now anyway, will he? Let's just put up with him for a bit longer.
I'm really grateful for that accident, you know.
If you're so grateful, why are you giving her your building? You should be giving it to me!
No, Dad should be giving it to me, actually. Oh, you have a car that I bought for you, Nick, don't you? It's still in my name too, isn't it? Well, I'm going to put it up for sale tomorrow, so you better save up and buy yourself another one. And Gail, that spending money you get on top of your living expenses, you won't be seeing any of that from now on either.
What did you just say? Terry! If I don't have that money anymore, how will I be able to go to my meetings?
You don't know how precious money is. You're just focused on spending it as if it was water or something. Maybe you can use this as an opportunity to get a job and earn your own spending money. I think it would be good for you to know how it feels to be earning money rather than just spending it all the time. You better keep track of your expenses too and show me at the end of every month. If you don't, I'll stop giving you your living expenses as well. You just try me.
Terry, don't do this to me!
Leanne, why are you being so quiet anyway? Are you really just going to accept that building from my dad? Do you have no shame?
Well, since your dad has said he's going to give it to me, I'm going to gratefully accept it and have a go at managing it myself. If he says that he needs it back at any time, I'll give it back to him. No questions asked. I don't think I need to listen to what you or anyone else has to say about it.
You've made the right decision, Leanne. Make sure you don't let these two ever change your mind. Do you understand?
So the two of you have come here, to my place of work, to talk about that building, have you? If Terry knew about this, he wouldn't take it lying down, you know.
You must feel delighted that you're taking my husband for a ride right now. But he's only letting you because he's in a sulk with me. That's all. I'm sure in time, when he's calmed down a bit, he'll be asking for that building back.
If he does, then I'll give it back to him, of course. Maybe you should be focusing on changing Terry's mind.
How dare you talk to my mom like that? Are you looking down on her because of the way Dad's treating her at the moment? Is that it?
I haven't done anything of the sort. Why have the two of you come to my place of work like this, causing trouble? You need to stop following me around like this and try to get Terry to change his mind. I told you that before, didn't I? If Terry asks for the building back again at any time, I'll give it back to him.
I tried speaking to you nicely, but what's the point? How dare you treat us like this? I see you've become overcome with greed now that you have that building. I'll tell you one last time. Put the building into my name at once.
I'm sorry, I can't do that.
You're heading for a slap, you are. I guess it'd be a good opportunity to teach you some manners, wouldn't it? Hey! What's got into you? Gail! Stop!
Mom, stop. Don't grab her hair like that. If Dad found out about this, we'd never get our hands on that building.
I'm past caring about that right now. She thinks I'm a pushover, doesn't she? She has to learn that her mother-in-law is someone to fear. How dare she speak to me like that? Gail, let me go! Stop, please!
Mom!
Gail!
What on earth has happened? They said that you fell down the stairs. How did that happen?
It was Leanne! She tried to kill me! She just pushed me down the stairs for no reason. Are you still going to give her the building? Now you can see what she's really like. She's been fooling you all along. You're under her spell. She was just acting so that you'd give her that building. That's all.
Dad, I wasn't going to say this to you, but I was there too when Leanne pushed Mom down the stairs, you see. It really made me lose all feelings for her, you know. No matter what Mom might have said to upset her, you can't just push someone down the stairs, can you? This is attempted murder. That's what this is. So I'm thinking really hard about getting a divorce.
I think that would be best, Nick. Just divorce her, straight away. You better get that building back first, though.
Right? Dad, if Leanne and I get divorced, you're just throwing that building away for nothing, you know. So you better ask her for it back. Once you've done that, I'll get the divorce underway. Leanne, can you please explain to me what exactly happened today? Why do you have to listen to what she has to say? Don't you trust me or something? Go on, Leanne. Quickly.
Well, to tell you the truth, Gail and Nick came to find me at my workplace today. We were talking near the emergency exit. Gail and Nick were trying to make me give them the building. They said that you only gave it to me because you were sulking, and that in time, when you'd calm down, that you'd ask for it back, so I should just give it to them right away.
They did what? So you're saying that all of this happened because you were trying to steal the building from Leanne?
Not steal. We were trying to get it back, weren't we? Leanne, exactly whose side are you on right now?
Be quiet. How dare you go to someone else's place of work and cause a fuss like this? I told you not to even have your eye on that building, didn't I? I'm not the kind of idiot that would give away a building worth $3 million just because I was sulking.
You really are. You're that stupid.
I'm a person who died and came back to life again. That's what I am. When I thought that I was dying, I was sad that you were also composed. There was no one crying. You were just working out how much money you would get from me.
But you didn't die, did you? Because you didn't die, you were able to give your daughter-in-law a $3 million building, weren't you? If you were going to do that, maybe it would have been better if you had died in that accident. Mom, that's enough.
I guess Nick is being a bit better.
Stop winding Dad up. You're just making the building get further and further away from us, aren't you? You don't have to tell him everything you're thinking now, do you? Don't you understand? He's saying that the only person who really cried when they thought he was dying was Leanne. We have to build a new strategy to get back in his good book so that we can get the building back. You have to be nice to him, not keep making things worse like that.
Oh, so I was wrong about Nick being better.
Dad, if you're involved in another accident, I promise that I'll cry for you. I'll cry twice as much. No, 10 times as much as Leanne. So give me the building, will you?
Do you really think that I gave Leanne the building just because she cried when she thought that I was going to die? And divorce? You really are such a fool. How dare you go on about divorce and suing Leanne when she's done nothing wrong and you've done everything wrong? If anyone wants a divorce, surely it should be Leanne. The two of you better not even think about trying to get that building from Leanne again. I'll be the one filing for divorce. You mark my words.
Oh, just leave him. What did I do to deserve a daughter-in-law like that? Coming into our family, stealing our inheritance. Oh dear. Leanne, go over there and get me a glass of water, would you? Really cold water.
Gail, you haven't hurt your legs, have you? You can get it yourself. The doctor said that it's better for you to move around a bit rather than staying still as well. I'm sure you can go and get your own water, Gail.
What? You're the one who got me into this mess. You should be looking after me, shouldn't you? You're crossing the line rather a lot recently, don't you think? If you just keep relying on Dad and acting like this, you'll be in trouble if he betrays you, won't you? You're the one who made Mom fall down the stairs, so take care of her. When Dad was hurt in the car accident, you took care of him for 3 months because you felt guilty about it, didn't you? But hey, Dad! Why are you hitting me? Stop!
How dare you speak to Leanne like that? You don't know how lucky you are to have someone like her. You should be taking care of your mom, shouldn't you? Why are you trying to get out of it again? Leanne, you have vacation next week, don't you?
Yes, Terry, I do.
Take this.
What is that? Why are you giving me more money, Terry?
Now that I've sold Nick's car and I'm not giving your mom spending money, I have quite a lot spare, you see. Take this money and take your parents away somewhere.
Pardon? It's okay, you don't have to do that, Terry. How can I accept this from you as well?
Just take it, will you? It's like you said before. I want to look after and provide for my family. But the only person that I actually see as my family at the moment is you. That's all.
Oh, Terry.
Those people will be fine. They can work things out by themselves. Don't worry about them, and take your parents on vacation abroad or something. Make sure you get a good long rest before coming back here.
Thank you so much, Terry.
Are you really going to go away with your parents? You aren't, are you? If you go away at a time like this, you really are the lowest of the low.
What do you mean by a time like this? What kind of time is this exactly?
You know, of course you do.
Mom's hurt, isn't she? Mom is in the hospital because of you. How could you possibly even think of going away on holiday? That's just totally immoral, surely.
When Terry was in the hospital, Gail had a great time going to all of her meetings and inviting her friends over to the house, didn't she? You went away for 2 nights with work as well. We all know that going away with work like that is just a disguise for one big drinking party, don't we? I don't think you're in a position to accuse me of being immoral.
Leanne!
Yes, Gail, what is it?
Can you just come to the hospital for a minute, please? I have something I want to talk to you about. Face to face. It won't take long.
Oh, I have to go to work tomorrow, so I'm busy, I'm afraid. I have to find a place to stay for our trip to Mexico as well, you see.
Are you saying that you're actually seriously planning to go on that vacation? Do you not want to see me again?
Well, I'm actually thinking about filing for divorce as it happens. Terry said that he respects my decision to get a divorce as well.
What did you just say? You're nothing but a plain thief! All of our inheritance is in your hands! Do you think we just let you go that easily? Stop yapping and get over here to the hospital right away!
Even if I go there, you're just going to say exactly the same thing that you're saying now, aren't you? I'll get Nick to pass on the message to me, so just tell him, okay?
You're saying that because you have more important things to be getting on with, are you? I can't stand to eat any more of this hospital food. It's making me feel sick. So from now on, you can send me food.
Oh, if that's what you want, it's no problem. You know that I made soup for Terry when he was in the hospital to help him to get better quickly, don't you?
Yes, I remember. You can't be so good to your dad and not to me. Make some for me as well.
Okay, Gail, I will. I have the leftovers from when Terry was in the hospital in the freezer, as it happens. I was wondering what I should do with it all. So this has worked out really well for me, too. It takes up a lot of space, you know. I'll bring it to the hospital and you can eat it.
Hey! Are you being serious right now? Do I look like somewhere to get rid of your leftovers?
You said to Terry before that my soup was amazing. So much better than your own, even. You said that you wanted to eat it. But as he needed it to get better, you were letting him have it.
Yes, I did, but...
Well, that settles it then. I'll get Nick to take it to the hospital with him, and you can defrost it and eat as much as you want now, can't you? I'm sure Nick can cope with defrosting it, as he isn't a complete idiot.
Leanne, you know I don't know about things like that. I don't even know how to use a microwave. I don't know how long it takes to defrost things either.
You have a phone, don't you? If you search the internet, you can find out all of that easily. Good luck! Thanks to Terry looking out for me, I was able to escape the dirty looks given to me by Gail and Nick and go away to Mexico with my parents. I got numerous calls from the two of them while I was away, but Terry had already expected that they would do that and told me not to even answer them. I just ended up turning off my phone and just ignoring all the calls and messages from them. From looking at the messages that they'd sent while I was away, it seems that they were not getting on too well and were fighting about everything. I thought that they'd get on really well together, but I guess I was wrong on that account. Well, I guess it could happen. Did she actually think that the son she raised to be so selfish could actually turn out to be a good son now that his mom is hurt and in the hospital? I guess she should have raised him properly then, shouldn't she? She has no one to blame but herself for that. While I was away with my parents, I decided that I would divorce Nick. My dad told me to just do what I thought was right, and said that he'd support me. He knows that my husband could never be someone who I could share the good times and the bad with. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to see more content.